Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time we're diving headfirst into the world of hyper-personalized AI.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
It really is. And it's something that's already impacting all of our lives, even if we don't realize it.
Absolutely it is.
Whether we're talking about, the way we shop online, the way we learn, the way we stay healthy, AI is increasingly being used to tailor experiences to each individual.
I think a lot of people are familiar with the idea of personalized recommendations. You see that on like Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah, for sure.
But this goes way beyond that. Hyper-personalization really digs deep to try to understand who you are, what you need, and what you want.
So it's not just about, showing me ads for products I've already looked at.
Right. It's about
Yes.
anticipating your needs even before you know you have them.
That's both impressive and a little bit scary.
Yeah, a little bit both for sure.
But let's break it down a bit. How does this AI magic actually work? I mean, what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, at its core, it's all about data. AI is able to analyze massive amounts of data about your past choices, your habits, your preferences.
So it's like building a profile of me based on my digital footprint.
Exactly. And the more data it has, the more accurate that profile becomes.
So the AI is constantly learning and evolving.
Right. And that's what allows it to provide these hyper-personalized experiences.
So let's talk about some specific examples. How are businesses using this technology right now?
Well, one of the most common applications is in recommendation engines.
Okay, so like when Netflix suggests a show I might like.
Exactly. These engines use sophisticated algorithms to analyze your past viewing habits and suggest content that you're likely to enjoy.
And this isn't just limited to entertainment, right?
Nope. We see it in e-commerce with personalized product recommendations.
Like those ads for waffle irons you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Or in healthcare,
Hmm.
where AI can recommend personalized treatment plans based on your medical history.
So it's really impacting almost every industry.
It really is. And as AI continues to advance, we can expect to see even more creative and impactful applications.
Now I'm curious about how companies are actually implementing these hyper-personalized experiences. What are some of the strategies they're using?
Well, one common approach is to use AI-powered chatbots.
Oh, yeah, those things.
I know they get a bad rap sometimes, but when done right, chatbots can be incredibly effective at providing personalized customer service.
So instead of getting stuck in those frustrating automated loops.
Exactly. These new AI-powered chatbots can understand your needs, your questions, and provide tailored solutions.
That sounds a lot more helpful.
It definitely is, and it's a great example of how AI can be used to improve the customer experience.
What other tricks do these companies have up their sleeves?
Another interesting area is dynamic pricing.
Dynamic pricing, now that sounds a little controversial.
It basically means that the price you see for a product or service can change based on a variety of factors.
Like what?
It could be based on demand, time of day, your location, even your past purchasing history.
So the price I see might be different from what someone else sees.
Exactly. Now, while this can lead to some great deals for consumers, it also raises some ethical questions.
Like whether it's fair for companies to charge different prices to different people.
Right, and that's a debate that's still ongoing.
It sounds like there's a lot to unpack there, but before we dive too deep into the ethics of dynamic pricing, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about the user's perspective.
Okay, sure.
So we've seen how businesses are using hyper-personalization, but what about us, the individuals? How can we take advantage of this technology and make it work for us?
Well, one of the best things you can do is be proactive. Embrace these AI-driven platforms. Explore what's out there and find the tools that align with your goals and interests.
Okay, so do your research and don't be afraid to try new things.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
once you've found some platforms that you like, be sure to actively engage with them, provide feedback, customize settings. The more you interact, the better the AI will understand your needs.
So it's a two-way street. We need to work with the AI to shape our own personalized experiences.
Absolutely. It's not about letting the AI take over. It's about using it as a tool to enhance our lives.
That's a great point. It's all about empowerment.
Exactly. And as AI continues to evolve, I think we'll see it play an even greater role in helping us live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives.
Now that's something I can get behind.
You too.
But before we get too carried away with all the positive possibilities, I think it's important to acknowledge that there are some potential downsides to consider as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We've touched on some of them already, like the ethical implications of dynamic pricing.
Right?
But there are other concerns too, like the potential for AI to create filter bubbles or echo chambers where we're only exposed to information that reinforces our existing beliefs.
That's a valid concern, and it's something we need to be mindful of.
And what about the impact on privacy with all this data being collected and analyzed? How can we be sure that our information is being protected?
That's another crucial question, and it's one that we'll need to address as this technology continues to develop.
It sounds like there's a lot to think about, both the good and the bad.
Definitely.
But before we dive too deep into the potential downsides, I think it's time to take a break.
Sounds good.
When we come back, we'll explore some of the exciting possibilities that lie ahead for hyper-personalization and wrap things up with some key takeaways. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about some of the ways we can actually use hyper-personalization to, benefit our own lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the most important things is to just be open to it, you
I'm
know?
open to it.
Yeah, like don't be afraid to try out different AI-powered platforms and tools. There's so much out there.
So many apps, so many websites.
Exactly. And you never know what you might find that could really help you, achieve your goals or make your life easier.
It's like having a whole team of experts at your fingertips.
Exactly. And the great thing is these AI tools, they're constantly learning and adapting to you. So the more you use them, the better they get.
So it's not just a one-time thing, it's an ongoing relationship.
Right. It's about, building that connection with the AI and allowing it to really understand your needs.
But it's not just about, passively using these tools, is it?
No, definitely not. You need to be an active participant, give feedback, customize settings, rate products, all that stuff.
So the more we interact with the AI, the smarter it gets and the better it can personalize our experiences.
Exactly. It's a two-way street.
I like that it's a partnership.
It is. And, I think that's really the key to unlocking the full potential of hyper-personalization.
It's about taking control of our own experiences.
Right. And using these AI tools to help us, live our best lives.
Now that's a future I can get behind. But before we get too carried away with all the amazing possibilities, I think it's important to acknowledge that there are some potential downsides to hyper-personalization as well.
Yeah, of course. No technology is perfect.
We've touched on some of them already, like, the ethical questions around dynamic pricing.
Yeah.
But there are other concerns too, like, the potential for AI to create filter bubbles or echo chambers,
Yeah, that's a big one.
where we're only exposed to information that confirms our existing beliefs.
It's easy to get trapped in those bubbles, especially online.
And it can be really dangerous because it can lead to, a very narrow worldview.
Absolutely. And, it can make it difficult to have productive conversations with people who have different perspectives.
So it's something we need to be aware of.
Definitely, we need to make a conscious effort to seek out diverse viewpoints and, challenge our own assumptions.
To step outside of our comfort zones.
Exactly. And, even though these AI tools can be really helpful in personalizing our experiences, we also need to be careful not to let them completely dictate what we see and hear.
That's the great point. It's about finding that balance, between personalization and, keeping an open mind.
Right. And I think that's a challenge that we'll continue to grapple with as this technology evolves.
Now, another concern that comes to mind is the issue of privacy. With all this data being collected and analyzed, how can we be sure that our information is being protected?
That's a huge issue, and it's one that we need to take very seriously.
I mean, it's not just about, companies using our data to sell us stuff. It's also about, the potential for that data to be used in ways that we don't consent to.
Right. And there's also the risk of data breaches and identity theft.
So it's a complex issue with a lot of different facets.
It is. And, there's no easy answer, but I think the most important thing is to be informed
Informed about what?
about how your data is being collected and used.
So read the privacy policies.
Yes, definitely. And, do your research on the companies that you're interacting with.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. You have a right to know how your data is being handled.
It sounds like we need to be, savvy consumers and informed citizens when it comes to this technology.
Absolutely. And, the more we know, the better equipped we'll be to protect our privacy and make sure that this technology is being used ethically and responsibly.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it.
Right. It's about making sure that it serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to move on to the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore some of the exciting possibilities that lie ahead for hyper-personalization and wrap things up with some key takeaways. Stay tuned. And we are back for the final part of this deep dive, all about AI and hyper-personalization.
Then a lot to think about.
It has, but I think it's been a really fascinating, conversation, and now we're looking ahead to the future.
Yeah, the crystal ball.
What are some of the exciting things that might be on the horizon when it comes to hyper-personalization?
I think the possibilities are kind of endless when you think about it.
Really limitless.
Yeah, I mean, one area that I'm particularly excited about is healthcare. Yeah, imagine a world where, your treatment plans are completely tailored to your individual needs.
So not just, one size fits all kind of medicine.
Right, exactly. Like AI could analyze your medical history,
Yeah.
your lifestyle, your genetic makeup even,
Wow.
and come up with a plan that's specifically designed for you.
That's incredible. And you know what else I think is really exciting is the potential for hyper-personalization in education.
Ah, yeah, big
Just
one.
think about it. AI-powered tutors that can adapt to your learning style, your pace.
It's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
Exactly. And it could really revolutionize the way we learn.
For sure. And, these are just a couple of examples. I mean, really, we could see this level of personalization extend to, pretty much every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, like even things like travel or finance,
Exactly.
having AI help us make, better decisions and, optimize our experiences.
Yeah, make life easier and more efficient.
Right. But of course, with all this talk about the future, we also have to acknowledge that there are, potential risks and challenges that come with this technology.
Of course, we can't ignore that.
I mean, we've talked about some of them already, but I think it's important to reiterate, the importance of privacy,
Yeah, absolutely.
making sure that our data is being protected and used responsibly.
And also, being aware of the potential for bias.
Bias.
Yeah, AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on.
So if the data is biased, then the AI could perpetuate those biases.
Exactly. And that could have, really serious consequences.
So it's really important to make sure that these systems are being developed and deployed ethically.
Absolutely. We need to be thinking about, the societal impact of this technology and making sure that it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
So it's not just about, the cool gadgets and the personalized experiences. It's about the bigger picture.
It is. It's about, shaping the future of AI in a way that aligns with our values.
And that's something that we all have a role to play in,
Definitely.
whether we're, developers or policymakers or just everyday users.
We all need to be part of this conversation.
Because ultimately, the future of AI is up to us.
Right. We get to decide how this technology shapes our world.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of hyper-personalized AI.
It's been a journey.
It has been, and hopefully it's giving you, our listeners, some food for thought.
Some things to ponder.
As you navigate this increasingly personalized world. So, as always, thanks for joining us. And until next time, keep exploring the endless possibilities of knowledge.